front bodice. So what we are talking about today is our front bodice. Remember, we just concluded the basic back bodice. So for our front bodice, we start with, this is a center back and this is the center front, right? So we've already gotten our chest line, our waistline, and our hip line. So we start with planning our upper chest. So the first thing to do is you come to your center front. Sorry, this is your center front and this is your center back. So the first thing is come to your center front line. And measure the back neck. What is our back neck? Go back to your proportions. You will see that your back neck is 8. So you measure it on the top line. Remember, at the back, when we are planning our back, we started from, we did our point O, that's from the top line, point O, before we start measuring. But for the back, for the front, we are starting from our top line. Reason being that our front and our back shoulder is not, our shoulder is slanted, and it's expected that when you finish making your garment, your seam should come to the front a little bit. That is why it's like that. So front usually starts from the top line. So on the top line, you measure your 8, which is your back neck, and label. Then on your center front, you measure 4.5 cm or 5 cm. If you are planning for bigger sizes, you can do 4 cm. But for sizes that is maybe smaller sizes like 12, 10, you can do your 4 cm. But here I'm going to deal with 4 cm. So the 4 cm, from your top line, you measure your 4 cm. From the same top line, you measure your 8 cm. You can do your 7.5 or your 8 cm. How I take this, I check this on my own, is I look at the person's bust, assuming the person's bust is, okay, the bust you're working with here is 104. So I'll do 104 divided by 12, and it's giving me 8.6. So I can decide to stay with 8. But you can actually use 8 or 8.5. But here I'm staying with 8. That is to get, I'm trying to plan the neck of the customer. Okay, so in getting a straight line, I usually come here and mark the same 4 here, mark the same 8, so that I'll have a straight line when I am reeling out. So I'll come on this, my first cm, I will rule out, I'll square out 16.5. This 16.5 is standard for everybody. I'll square out 16.5, right? Then on my 8 cm, I'll square out the same thing I have on my top line as my back neck. I'm trying to plan the neck of my customer. So I'll square out 8. You can square out 12 and then measure your back line. But I just go straight to square out my back line, which is 8. So I'll connect, forming a box. So this is the base of my neck, right? This is the shoulder. So in getting the curve for my neck, I will come to this angle and square out 3 cm. I'm using this point and this point to get my angle, and I'll square out 3 cm. So I come with my French curve. I come with my French curve, and then I connect. So I'm connecting this point, and that point. So my neck is ready. Okay, so I need to plan my shoulder slant for the front. So I'll come to this point, my neck point. This is called your MP, right? I'll come to my neck point. I'll measure 22 inches passing through my 16.5. So I'm going to have 22 cm, sorry. passing through my 16.5. So I have 22. That's my shoulder slant. Now let's plan our dart. In planning your dart using Natalie Bray, you have two ways. It's either you use your bust span, what you people call neck bust to bust line, sorry, nipple to nipple, or you use your across chest. In here we have across chest of 39. Use the across chest divided by 4. So if I use my across chest divided by 4 here, I have 9.75. So you can decide to use this, or if you have your client's bust span, you can use it. So assuming your bust span is 8, you can do divided by 2, that's 4. But what I have here is 9.75. Most times I approximate, so I have 9.75, I approximate it to 10. So I will come to my center front line again. I'll measure out the 10. Now let's check what the 10 is in inches, because most times when I'm working I try to check both in inches and cm. So if I check what it is, it's giving me 4 cm. So you can see it's either you use your bust span or use your across chest. So I have my 10, so I'm going to measure this 10 down to get a straight line. Now this 10 that I'm measuring down, I'll stop at my chest level. At this point I need to get my client's bust point. You know why? Because when I'm planning my dart is expected to be at least 2 cm before my dart. So in this case my client's bust point is 11, so I'm going to measure my 11 inches starting from the top line. So I have my 11. I do this to get my straight line, so I'll connect. So I now have my bust point. So you can see I already have my 10 cm. So I'm going to connect the line, my 10 cm line, leaving at least 2 cm before my bust point, right? So I will do that using a broken line, like what I'm doing. So by that I started. So on this 10 cm that I did, I'm going to square out 2 cm along my shoulder slant. I'll connect it to my bust point line using a ruler. So I'll measure my dart. What is your dart? Go back to your proportions. Your dart is 9. So you start from your 2 cm where you squared out your 2 cm on the shoulder slant. You measure your 9 and then connect it back to your dart line, dart point. So every connection for the upper part is going to stop here. So my dart is ready. Now I need to get my upper chest. On my chest line, I'll measure 4 cm up, like this. I'll square out. So I have my chest level, right? I have my upper chest level, my upper chest level. Okay, so I need to plan my armhole. In planning your front armhole and back armhole is not the same. So pay attention to how the front armhole is being planned. So I will come to my shoulder slants. I need to get my shoulder line. Now my shoulder from the measurement is 13. So I'll come to my shoulder point, starting from my neck point. I need to measure 13. So I'll start from my neck point. I'll get to where my dart started, not the broken line. Watch. I'll jump my dart. I'm looking for 13. So this is where my 13 is. So I've gotten my shoulder length. Then I will come to my chest, my upper chest level. What is our upper chest? Across chest. Sorry, it's across chest. What is my across chest? My across chest is 39. For me to get my across chest, I have to divide it by 2. So here I have 19.5. So I'll come to the upper chest line, across chest line. I will measure my 19. In measuring my 19, see what I'm doing. When I get here to where my dart started, I will jump the dart spacing and then I'll continue measuring. I'm looking for 19.5. So this is where my 19.5 fell. 19.5. So from that 19.5, I'll square down on my chest level. So from my 22, I'll connect to my 19.5 with a straight line, right? Okay, so I'll straight line, that's it. Now that straight line that you have, you need to divide it by 2 by 2 for you to get, we're trying to get our curve. So if I measure what I have here, I have 15 cm. 15 divided by 2, do not assume, please divide it with your calculator. I have 7.5. So I have my 7.5. On the 7.5, I'll go in by 1 cm. See how I placed the ruler? 1 cm here. Now for me to get my curve around my chest level, I need to come out by this point by 1.5. So how do I get that? I'll take my ruler, place it here, and place it here, so that I'll get a straight line, and then I'll square out, I'll point out 1.5. So in connecting my armhole, this is the point I'm going to connect here, 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 and then here. In connecting here, I must come slightly down my chest level. So I'll come in with my French curve. Pay attention to how I'm connecting this. Very important, but with time you are going to learn it. It comes with practice. So I place my curve from my 22, passing through my my 1 cm with a curve. Most times it's difficult to connect it straight, so you have to keep connecting it little by little until you get there. So I'll connect. What you can do is to snap this particular point so that you will see when anytime you want to connect, you can go back. That's how I learned anyway. Then from here to here, I'll connect it with this side of the curve. Then from this point to this point, I'll connect with this side of the curve. Watch what I'm doing. I came slightly down my bust level. It's because it's a marker. If it's a pencil, you will see it that my curve is slightly lower than my chest level. So your armhole is ready. So this is a basic front and back bodice. If you want to make your free dress, your A-line, this is what you need in ready to wear. You don't need, is when we are doing manipulation, you'll see how you're going to remove this, that, and you're good to go. Thank you. We're going to go another way, which is the planning our waist. Thank you.